Let's talk about the top 5 AR and SMG meta in Warzone 3 for Verdansk, and this also counts for Rebirth Island too. So I want to start this off by saying there is no #1 best AR or #1 best SMG. Every single weapon I'm going to show you, you can make them all look equally as good. So kicking this off, we got the Kilo. Now this one has 1500 bullet velocity with this build. I mean, there's certain ways you can build to get more bullet velocity, but I think this is the most balanced build for this thing. And now recoil is just like the OG Kilo. I mean, there really isn't any. And then with this monocle sight, it makes it all that much better. So definitely a great option. When it comes to the secondary, we got the Compact 92. Now, people have been saying this gun is really broken and it's like the fastest TTK right now for SMGs. I don't really know if that's true or not, but whenever I use it in game, I mean, you see it. 3 plays, this thing is deleting. So with this one, I actually went with the sight on it. I know some people rock iron sights, but me personally, I can't really use iron sights with this gun. With the muzzle flash and the recoil that this gun has, it makes it really hard to see what you're shooting at. But just keep in mind, if you use this gun, you really have to be accurate for that time to kill to really be as quick as possible. All right, so moving on, we got the Growl. Now, this is honestly my favorite AR right now. The Growl iron sight, I don't know, I just like it so much better than the other guns because not only does it has really good bullet velocity, it has really good time to kill, and obviously no recoil. I don't know what it is about having iron sights on this, but I just feel like it makes it that much better. Like, it really doesn't move. It reminds me of the Ram 9 meta or the Ram 7 meta from Warzone MW3 when it first came out. Like, just look at this, does not move. I feel like anybody can pick this gun up and just fry with it. I mean, same thing goes with the Kilo too. Now for the secondary, for this one, we got the SOG. Now, honestly, I like the SOG. This loadout right here, the Growl and the SOG might be my favorite right now. I was using the SOG earlier, it felt really good. Movement, recoil, time to kill. And it's just super easy to use. It's basically the Compact 92, but just easier to see what you're shooting at and to use. Now the build I went for this one is basically all recoil attachments, and that's why the recoil is so easy to manage. We got the vertical grip, compensator, and we throw on the long barrel for extra damage range to make it feel more consistent. And now moving on from that, what we got is the AK-74. Now, honestly, this one has a lot of recoil, but this is the fastest killing AR in the game. Faster than the AMAX, Kilo, and Growl. And the way you can shoot it in the firing range, it may seem like it's easy to manage, but when you're actually in the field trying to shoot people, shoot enemies, teams, it's a lot harder to use this gun, even for me. Like, I wouldn't even dare shoot that last target if I'm in. You guys see it, but like I said, it kills really fast. That's just something you got to deal with if you use that gun. Now, next up, we got the C9. This is overall just a really good SMG. Really good movement, recoil, time to kill. Iron sights are really nice. That muzzle flash doesn't really get in your way, so. And I want to say this one has like a 15-meter damage drop off. No, 13.7 almost, but really good build overall. You cannot go wrong with that one. Moving on. Let's talk about the AMAX. Now the AMAX is basically the AK, but a little bit less recoil. Like, if I had to pick between the two, I'm definitely using this one over the AK. 1200 bullet velocity, effective damage range is 64 meters, which is nuts. And like I said, the recoil, it's nothing that you can't manage, but it is bouncy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's a lot better than the AK, obviously. It just kills slightly slower than that one does. So you can't go wrong if you try to use this one. Now for the secondary, we got the Jackal. And now this one was meta during Black Ops Season 1, and they buffed it again. So now this is back in the meta after nerfing in Season 2. So I'm not really too sure why they buffed this one. But nonetheless, here goes the build for that. Now lastly, let's go over the Cypher and then the KSV after that. Cypher, I mean, I love this gun for Rebirth Island, especially in the previous update that we have. But if you were to use this in Verdansk, it is still really good. 1100 bullet velocity, a little bit lower than the brand new guns we got, but still nothing that's going to be a problem for you. Damage range is like 40 meters. Recoil on this is really nice to use. Really nice to use. And now for the secondary, we got the KSV. KSV actually got a big buff this season. And they actually buffed this season too, but it wasn't like the hard meta. But now I'm convinced this thing is actually really, really good. And then if you guys want the build for this one, here you go. And now after this, let's talk about perks. I actually want to know what you guys are running for perks right now, because I've been bouncing around between a few, but I think what I'm stuck on right now is Scavenger, because it's so hard to come across plates. So if you don't know, when you kill people with this, you pick up their like their resupply pouch, you get ammo, equipments, and cash from dead enemies. So really good perk to have for me personally. Outside of that, Mountaineer is useless. Grenader, nobody uses that. Reflexes, it's only good if you have like a specialist token, so I wouldn't run that in my inventory. Veteran would be a good one. Low profile, probably not. And Survivor is like the only other one I would run. Scavenger or Survivor. But once again, let me know what you guys are running for perk 1. Now for perk 2, me personally, I have Tracker. I don't know what it is, but since this update, it seems like every character on the game is a lot smaller than what they should be. I don't know if that's just me and my settings on my screen or my monitor, but I find it really hard to actually see people. I don't know what it is. So Tracker's been a big help. Outside of that, Quick Fix would be a good one to run, just because you can regen health when you plate up, when you thirst somebody, you get a full kill, whatever. I mean, Sprinter would be cool, but tag sprinting definitely for the average player, that's not really gonna matter. Cold-blooded would not be a bad one, just to stay off alertness. Bomb Squad, it's only good if you got specialist tokens. Reactive armor, this is kind of useless. I would avoid that for sure. So in this slot, for me personally, I'm saying to use Tracker or Quick Fix. Once again, let me know what you guys are running for perk 2. And now for perk 3, with the lack of plates, I think having Tempered and Scavenger will kind of offset that. It'll make it a lot easier for you to have plates and armor when you're taking fights or going from POI to POI. Outside of that, we got Bird's Eye is really good to kind of combat the people that have Ghost. If your team likes to run and gun, pop UAVs and stuff like that. Speaking of Ghost is really good right now because it's a little bit of a newer map. So a lot of teams are going to prioritize getting UAVs to know how to rotate, where to rotate, things like that. Resolute is a really good one, but this is more like a resurgence perk. I probably would not use this on big map. It doesn't really make any sense. Gung Ho, I have not used in this new update, so I can't really speak on that. And lastly, Alertness, I would probably try to avoid. I try to use this, but it's so hard to see when your Alertness actually pops off. It's like a very, very light blue color, and it's damn near impossible to see. Outside of that, we got smoke grenades I'm starting to use now since I'm playing on big map. But if I was to play Resurgence, I'm using stems 100%. This gas grenade is really good. Shock charges are really good because they actually don't affect you. So if you throw a shock charge, an enemy hits it, and you walk into it, it does not affect you. It's cheesy right now. I don't know why it works like that, but it does. For lethals, now, I wanted to use thermites, but I don't know how to unlock this. If you guys know, please let me know. Since that's the case, I like impact nades. C4s are super buffed to what they were back in the original Verdansk. These are really good. You could toss them crazy far. But I mean, if you guys like the camp, blast traps and spring mines are really good. Can't go wrong with them. And then lastly, for the wild card, just use overkill, to be honest with you. Since you can no longer buy weapons out the loadout or out the buy station, just use overkill. So when you get your loadout, you have both your guns, primary and secondary. Outside of that, for melee, I highly recommend you guys get a melee weapon that, so if you look right here, it says mobility, right? Each one has different mobility stats. Basically, you just want to get the one that has the highest mobility stats. I'm pretty sure with every single Black Ops 6 weapon, melee weapon, they're all going to have the same mobility. So just make sure you're using a Black Ops 6 one. So whenever you have your infinite tac sprint out, by having your melee, you're moving as fast as possible. That's very important since there's no zips in the game right now and vehicles are kind of hard to come across. So that's going to be my top 10 weapons and loadouts for Warzone, Verdansk, or Rebirth Island. If you guys found today's video helpful in any way, make sure you drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.